Hi guys, welcome back on board to the Crypto Cruise. It's me, Chris, and today we're going to talk about Cardano, ADA, what ADA is all about, what makes it unique. We're going to talk some chart analysis, potential price target, where ADA potentially will end up by the end of this year. And of course, we're going to talk about the altcoin season, where potentially the true speculation will happen. And we're also going to talk about Ethereum, where it's heading in the immediate short term. And we're going to start today's show with a Bitcoin chart as we always do. And since 14th of August, we've been in a downtrend. We formed this bearish channel pattern that we actually broke above a few days ago. We came back, tested this previous resistance, turned it into support for continuation of the trend on the upside. Now, is it possible for Bitcoin to go a bit further down to price of around 104, 105,000? Of course, anything is possible, but in my personal opinion, we can go further down to potentially 108, form a higher low, which of course is a bullish structure for continuation of the trend on the upside. And I've told you guys, corrections like these, they're actually for buying, they're actually healthy for the overall trend. Because as we've established in previous videos, the bottom of the bear market happened in November of 2022, or around 3 years ago, and from that moment on, we've been nothing but on a bullish trend. And the corrections like these, as I've said, they're for buying because the trajectory is on the upside. Of course, along the way, we're experiencing a lot of corrections, but as I've said, the continuation on the trend is on the upside. So the trend is our friend until something breaks down and we change our position. But so far so good. I anticipate higher prices when it comes to Bitcoin. Now when it comes to Ethereum, I've been nothing but right. We're in a bullish trend. We're definitely in a bull cycle when it comes to Ethereum. On the yearly chart, I see huge reverse head and shoulders, as you can clearly see, and on the weekly chart from 18th of March 2024 to basically beginning of August 2025, over a year and a half, we've been forming this huge ascending triangle pattern that, as I've said, we managed to break above, and we actually managed to break above this huge resistance line that we start testing it from its previous all-time high formed on 8th of November 2021 at price of around 4,868. We tested it in March of 2024, then again tested it in May of 2024. We even tested it at the end of last year at price of above 4,000 in December of 2024, while everyone was anticipating to start hitting all-time high prices for Ethereum. We actually capitulated and Trump introduced the tariffs, a V-shaped recovery. We tested this resistance, as I've said, end of July, beginning of last month. We start taking out this resistance, as I've said. We start taking price of above 4,300, and as I've said, I'm not going to be surprised at all if we actually come back to price of around 4,100 for continuation of the trend on the upside. We actually managed to break above its all-time high to almost $5,000 for Ethereum. Now we're experiencing a little bit of a pullback, which I don't think is going to last long. Of course, especially if we measure this ascending triangle pattern, the price target measured from the bottom to the top should be above 6,600. So this is something that I'm actually anticipating when it comes to Ethereum to hit in the next coming months by December of this year. And potentially, I'm not going to be surprised if we have one huge drop, let's say end of this year, and a blow off top by February, March of next year. Potentially, Ethereum start hitting 5 digits above $10,000. I mean, this is something that charts. This is not just wishful thinking, but let's see how I think is going to play out, because it's interesting for me to see as well. Now, when it comes to Cardano ADA, what I'd like to see, basically we're forming here on the weekly chart double formation, and what I'd like to see is basically take out this local top at price of around $1.15 that we formed in December of 2024. Also, we have to test this level of above $1 for ADA that we've tested this resistance line multiple times in April of 2019, in May of 2019. We tested it again in March of 2024. As I've said, we actually managed to break above it in November and December of of 2025, and we actually break above it, but we couldn't hold it. We dropped down in price, and right now we're gearing up for another upside move, which potentially, if we break above this resistance line, as I've said, at $1.05, potentially take out this local top that we formed at the end of last year, December of 2024, price of above $1.30. I'm not going to be surprised if ADA goes quite quickly to this all-time high at price of around $3. If we have a full price discovery, we can go and even test the $5 level and test this resistance line that we've tested previously in December of 2000, actually January of 2018, at price of around $1.30, and then we tested it again at its all-time high price of around at the date of 30th of August 2021, price of around $3.10. And again, if we go and test it by the end of this year, by November, actually we can potentially go and test it by January, February of next year, potentially $5 level. The highly likelihood is to actually break above, and I'm not going to be surprised if ADA, if we break this resistance line, potentially ADA can double in price and can basically test price of above $10. Now, from 80 cents, right, the price of one ADA right now, is it possible to go to 10 cents, to $10, which is going to be around 10x, 10 to 12x? I mean, we just have to see the previous database, the previous bull cycle of 2017, it went above 100x. The previous bull cycle from 2020 to 2021, again 100x. I mean, I'm not saying that ADA can do 100x, but potentially 10x is not completely out of the picture. But again, anything I say in this video, it is not a financial advice. It's for pure entertainment purposes. And before you do anything, do due diligence and make your own research. Because as I've said, this is not a financial advice, because ADA can easily go basically test this resistance, or basically just consolidate between these prices of around $1.30, and it might never recover, or it can even go further to its previous all-time high price of around $3, and we might never break above its all-time high, and we might never experience a full price discovery. So I mean, these markets, they're quite difficult, but an ADA, we always have to remember one thing. ADA market cap is absolutely huge, it's massive. So I mean, previously 100x's, even 20x's, in my personal opinion, are completely out of the way, and I think ADA doesn't have the potential to do much more than 8 to 10x, if that's even possible. Yeah, we have to look at it, how ADA will move, but I'm just trying to be as transparent as I can be, and always do the diligence, as I've said, because I mean, again, I'm bullish on ADA, but ADA can easily go to zero. So always do the diligence and make your own research, as I've said. Once again, guys, thank you all for tuning in. I really appreciate all support. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube, please do it. It's for absolutely free. And if you want to subscribe to my Patreon and basically give you one-on-one consultation of how to navigate through that difficult bull cycle, that'll be amazing. And of course, with that subscription comes with 2 books of how to become a sophisticated trader, of how to set up a trade, and how to be a successful trader. And not only that, there's a lot of exclusive content with the most undervalued, underappreciated coins, some of them 50, 100x potential. So there's definitely a lot of value in my Patreon, and it's definitely worth visiting. Once again, guys, thank you all for tuning in. I really appreciate all support, and we'll see each other tomorrow. Goodbye.